Welcome back, everyone. So recently, Donald Trump was in court over some charges, quite a lot of allegations in New York, and the news often reported with pictures on how he fell asleep in court and had to be repeatedly, sort of reprimanded by the judge. So I was half expecting that kind of story when I was going into this. However, it turns out that this courtroom was in Detroit, and the judge, Judge King, I believe his name was, he wasn't reprimanding not convict.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
A defendant, sorry. He wasn't reprimanding a defendant for falling asleep in court. He was reprimanding a visiting student who was just in the courtroom, for an experience with their teacher, with their entire class. And when the student first fell asleep, I think her name was Ava, she first fell asleep, he got really annoyed and told her not to do that again. But she was super tired, they'd been on the go all day, doing all these sort of field trip activities. And so she fell asleep one more time, and he demanded that she get put in handcuffs and even had to wear the jumpsuit that criminals have to wear when they're in jail. So it seemed like he really took this too far. It was very unexpected. It kind of got out of control, and a lot of theories were thrown around, like was he on a power trip? Maybe he'd had a bad day. What was it that made him sort of so viciously attack this visiting student? But anyway, it was decided his behavior was unacceptable, and he was suspended from his job pending further investigation. They decided, nope, this is too much. We can't have our judges behaving in this way.
To innocent people.
Yes, to innocent people who are not even on trial.
Yeah.
Just observers. So yes, a strange situation. Yes, Donald Trump never had to wear the handcuffs and the jumpsuit, and he was on trial and falling asleep in court and disrespecting the court procedure. So yeah, not really acceptable. Anyway, so this inspired a few interesting ideas. So let's get into the questions, John. So, remember when you were back at school?
Yes.
Oh, yes. How did your teacher handle it when you fell asleep in class?
As a quick side point, though, where were the teachers when Ava was being handcuffed? Like, I wonder if they were like, "What are you doing, Judge?" Or if they were just going along with it.
That's a good question. I mean, did they try to intercede? Are they able to intercede that directly when it's his courtroom?
Anyways, my teachers, when they knew very quickly when I was falling asleep because I was in a classroom of one. And so I don't think I ever fell asleep in the classroom. How they would react was just, "Hey, wake up." Like, let's study, let's do this. Yeah, I had no leniency when it came to that. No sneaking texts under the table.
They'd be like, "Where did you get that mobile phone?
Exactly.
It's the 1990s.
Yeah, seriously. At that time, it wouldn't be texting. What it would be? I'd have to write a message real quick.
Be passing notes to yourself, or throwing them out the window.
Yeah, and hoping they get to someone.
You'd get full marks for trying. Okay, so I wasn't a particularly sleepy student, I think. When I was in class, I don't remember even nearly falling asleep.
Yeah. Me neither. Like, even though, literally the teacher's in front of me, I don't feel like I ever had the idea of, falling asleep. Now I do.
Yeah.
Now I'm if I'm, at some lesson or lecture, I'm like, maybe a little nap is a good idea.
Aging makes it harder to stay awake.
Yeah.
I was full of beans when I was a kid.
Yeah, beans are all run out now.
So here's a bit of a. How about you ask me the next one?
Okay. I had an answer prepared, but I'll go for it.
Oh really? Oh no. Okay.
No, I'll do you. I'll do you.
All right.
Because you'll have a better answer anyway.
Okay.
Did your high school teachers ever send notes home to your parents because you were a naughty kid?
Yes.
Okay.
But it wasn't a note.
Okay.
They called my parents because they were unhappy with my hairstyle.
Okay.
They said it broke uniform rules. I'd had all my hair done into box braids, which, you know, I don't know if you're up on cultural appropriation, was a terrible mistake of mine. I didn't know better. I was only 15 at the time, 15, 16. Anyway, so they said that this was an unacceptable hairstyle, but my parents argued on my behalf that it was not an unacceptable hairstyle, that they approved of it, that I had chosen it, and other students in the school had the same hairstyle and had not been punished. Therefore, I should not be punished either. And the school relented. They said, okay, you've made a fair point. We'll leave it. We'll leave it there.
It seems like a very civil exchange.
It was. It was very civilized. They saw reason in the end. They were harassing me unfairly. And so, you know, I know there's a lot of controversy about parents getting involved in make teachers' decisions, but I feel like sometimes if the teacher is acting unfairly against your child, you do have to kind of speak up and say, come on.
Some sort of discourse.
Otherwise, why call them at all? If you don't want the parents to get involved, then don't call them.
Yeah. Just punish the kid and go home.
They could have just sent me home.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Oh, okay.
So, and how about you?
For me, for high school, ever sending notes home? No, but I've had friends who have had their like notes home sent, and they didn't try to hide it, but it was like one of those really embarrassing things where they don't want to tell their parents, and they kind of like, you know, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. The reasons were also with a dress code. So that's interesting that you said that too, because I guess most of the things that happen these days are dress code related.
Yes, I guess it shows the size of the problems was really not that big.
No, it wasn't bullying. It wasn't.
We were good kids. God bless us.
We were the good ones.
And you should be good students too. Yes. And go down and check out the vocabulary section, or I might consider writing a note to your parents. So to avoid Claire's terrible punishment, go check it out, learn it, and see if you can use it in the next conversation. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Notorious.
Notorious.
Vow.
Vow.
Judgmental.
Judgmental.
Nod off.
Nod off.
Juvenile delinquent.
Juvenile delinquent.